Good afternoon, students. Can you all hear me properly? Students, can you all hear me properly? Vishnu Datta, can you hear me properly? Just reply because I need to know whether system is working properly. You can reply
Yes, sir, we
automatically.
can hear you.
Okay. Okay, so actually, this course I was supposed to start last month itself, but you had your internship programs, and meanwhile, in the first part of the month, September, I had to be on leave. So my colleague Manav Chaudhary has given you an introduction about the course and initial concepts. So now, anyway, we'll start afresh. So today I have again shared in the WhatsApp group the syllabus. So as you know, let me come back to the syllabus once again. Okay, so this is the syllabus, and as you already know, our syllabus, every paper is actually divided into 5 modules. So as usual, we have 5 modules in this course. Module 1, the basics of information, why information is important, impact on society, impact on healthcare, the future of healthcare technology, the future of healthcare records, preparing for the future, etc. And then module 2 is actually functions of the health record, changing functions of the patient's record, advantages of paper record, disadvantages of paper record, optically scanned records, the electronic health record, automating the paper record, advantages of EHR, disadvantages of EHR, EHR, it is electronic health record, and bedside or point of care systems, human factors and the EHR roadblocks and challenges to EHR implementation and the future. Module 3 includes securing the information, that is privacy, confidentiality, and law and legal aspects. So, who owns the data? Then, computer security and crime, uh, computer security and computer crime, role of healthcare professionals, then electronic communications, a bit of history, and hardware, software, or for connecting methods of accessing information, that is World Wide Web, and other communication technologies. Module Module 4 actually includes MS Office. MS Office actually not necessarily it is Microsoft Office, although here it is exclusively mentioned MS Office. Actually, in this module, we talk about the different office suites or office applications that are used for automation, office automation. It basically MS Office is the pioneer office suite in this type of application category. So it includes Microsoft Word, that is for document format, and then Microsoft Excel for other information, that is manipulation, then Microsoft PowerPoint, and then for Microsoft PowerPoint basically for presentations, etc. And awareness of IT in various functions of the hospital and visits and interaction with IT professionals in hospital. So basically combination of office automation tools along with our hospital information system or hospital information management or patient information management or electronic health record management. Last part is actually telehealth. So here we learn about terms related to telehealth, historical perspective on telehealth, types of technology, clinical initiatives, administrative initiatives, advantages on barriers of telehealth, future trends, clinical in summary, then the future of informatics, globalization of information technology, then electronic communication, knowledge management, genomics, advantages of in public health, then speech recognition, wireless computing. These topics will be briefly introduced because they are hardcore information technology topics. No, may not be easily understandable from all the domains like your domains. So here we'll give you brief introduction. Then we talk about telehealth, informatics education, barriers to IT implementation in telehealth, etc. Okay, one textbook has been recommended, Introduction to Healthcare Management by Sharon B. Bushbinder and Nancy H. Shanks. So, of course, this textbook will not uh, uh, cover all the topics that has been mentioned in the syllabus, but don't worry, we will provide you all the materials that will be required uh, throughout the course. Okay, so this was the syllabus that was my responsibility to discuss a bit. So, as you all know, the main objective of including hospital information system, you know that you are from management background and this paper is being taught by IT background or computer science or IT background. But why actually this particular paper is introduced? See, the objectives into the ability, that means after studying this particular paper, you should be able to understand about healthcare technology, introduction, concept, principles, and practices. Nowadays, we know that see, an entire world is actually heavily dominated by IT applications and IT devices, information and communication technology everywhere. So it's time to incorporate information technology with healthcare industry. So that is one of the biggest objectives. Then ability to study the different functions of health record, different components of health records, and ability to acquire knowledge of securing the information over the internet. Then ability to learn about methods and techniques of communication technology used in healthcare organizations, ability to understand about the various functions of telehealth, and course outcomes include understanding different roles of healthcare technology, awareness of different methods of medical records, then analyze and understand methods of accessing information to learn about advancement of technology in healthcare industry. So basically, in short, we know about and we are expected to know about the modern health information or electronic health record or health record management in modern scenario. So that is our prime objective and expected outcome. Now, I will come to the first module of the syllabus. Okay, I hope the screen is visible. If not, just reply on the chat box. I assume it is visible. So we talk about the module one, which includes information, why it is important, impact on society, healthcare, the future of healthcare technology, the future of healthcare record, and preparing for the future. So we start with the very basic concept of data and information. We all hear the term data and also the information. But let us try to examine why they are distinct terms and what is the difference between them, what is meaning. So far as data is concerned, data is a raw and unorganized fact that required to be processed to make it meaningful. Okay, so actually anything that can be recorded is data. Okay, so anything means any information, any piece of representable content that is possible to be recorded by means we need not use a audio recorder or video recorder. It must be something that can be notable with pen and paper, something that can be storable with a computer, something that can be stored in our own memory. Okay, for example, I see you and I remember you. Actually, I am storing your data in my personal memory. So data can be simple at a time simple at the time, at the same time unorganized unless it is organized. Okay, so normally by default data is unorganized and we need to process it so that it becomes organized and readable. Generally, data comprises facts, observations, perceptions, numbers, characters, symbols, images, etc. Okay, so data can comprise anything, so any known fact that can be recorded, where the known facts may be observations, perceptions, numbers, characters, symbols, images, or anything that you can imagine and you can record. So data is always interpreted by a human or a machine to derive a meaning. So data is meaningless. Data contains numbers, statements, and characters in a raw form. Now here we come to an interesting fact. So if we say about say 100 or 200 or 500 or 1000, so this actually is a meaningless piece of fact. 100 may be a number of books, 100 may be a number of persons, 100 may be a number of shops in a market, 100 may be number of vehicles available in a parking, 100 may be money in your wallet or anything. Okay. So actually when we say just 100 or 500, it is actually meaningless. So that is why it will be called a data. Okay. So data itself is a plural form. So you cannot use the word datas because actually the singular form of data is called datum. D-A-T-U-M. Datum. Okay. So data is the plural form of datum. So data itself is a plural. Then what is information? So information is a set of data which is processed in a meaningful way according to a given requirement. Information is processed, structured, or presented in a given context to make it meaningful and usable. So now, whenever some context or meaning is added to piece of raw fact, that will no longer remain data, that will be called information. For example, 100 or 500 alone is meaningless, but if I say rupees 100 in my wallet or number of students 100 in the batch, or total number of books in a library, small library is say 100, so that becomes a meaningful information. So that is converted from data to information. Okay. it it is processed data which includes data that possesses context, relevance, and purpose. So after processing the data that earlier was meaningless or unorganized, now they will contain context. Context means it will have a reference. So for example, rupees 100 means it is context is money. Number 100 is number of books 100, so book. Then people 100 means actually number of people somewhere, and then relevance. Okay, it is relevant now, and then of course it has a purpose. Okay, purpose rupees 100 means I am talking about rupees 100 available in my wallet or in my account balance or somewhere else. It also involves manipulation of raw data. For example, say 100 may not be meaningful, but now you know that actually this is here we talk about the money available in my wallet and it should be in rupees. So you add one unit prior to that value 100, which is called rupees, rs, or any currency symbol. Okay, so now it is actually a manipulation. So now raw 100 is the manipulated to rupees 100. Okay, that is actually manipulation. So information assigns meaning and improves the reliability of the data. It helps to ensure undesirability and reduces uncertainty. So when data converted to information reduce, it ensures undesirability. That means if some portion of information is undesirable, so it ensures that this portion is desirable, this portion is undesirable, and reduces uncertainty. So, for example, say raw 100 or 500 is actually not a certain information, certain piece of information, but the batch year 2020. So that actually becomes a certain. So when data is transformed to information, it never has any useless details. So now rupees 100 or students 100 or similar piece of information, when they are no longer data, they are now information, they never has useless details. Okay, so unnecessary figures, unnecessary facts, unnecessary figures, unnecessary symbols, unnecessary characters will no longer be available in the information. So actually, as you can see in the diagram, then there may be some pieces of data, that may be different pieces of data. So they will be passed to processing step, and then after processing altogether it can become information. For example, say, there may be different pieces of data for different batches of students. Altogether total number of students of this particular institute is this much, so that becomes a combination of different pieces of data from different sources, and altogether that will become a single piece of information. So if we talk about key difference between data and information. So data is raw and unorganized fact that is required to be processed to make it meaningful, whereas information is a set of data that is processed in a meaningful way according to the given requirement. So from the block diagram itself, so we get the clear difference between data and information, that the before processing what we have is data, after processing what we have is called information. So data is raw and unorganized fact and it needs a processing. So information, you can also pass information for processing, but actually information already has crossed. When we talk about information, it already has crossed one level of processing. Minimum one processing level has been crossed, whereas data have not crossed any level of processing. The data does not have any specific purpose, whereas information carries a meaning that has been assigned by interpreting data. Okay, so when you record some data, that may not have any purpose, but when information we talk convert it to information, so a meaning will be automatically assigned along with the interpreted data. Okay, so purpose or meaning is not with data, but purpose or meaning will be available with information. Data alone has no significance, while information is significant in itself. So when it was that today this many number attended, say 100 students attended the institution. So mere 100 is the data, but if you talk about total number of students attended on say 20 September 2021 is 100, so that become a significant piece of information. Then data never depends on information, while information is dependent on data. Okay, so data is raw, is not dependent on data, but information, in order to create some information, suppose somebody asks you, give me an information how many students attended today's class. So in order to give me that information, you have to collect total number of students, so that information you can pass me based on the data available with you. If somebody that data, then only you can give me the information that sir, this many number of students attended to this class. So data never depends on information, but information is dependent. Then data measured in bits and bytes, and on the other hand, information is measured in meaningful units like time, quantity, etc. Okay, so here we talk about, of course, computerized storage and maintenance of data. So when we talk about data, raw data, if you create and store, then it will be in bits or bytes or kilobytes or megabytes or gigabytes, and no other unit is considered. But when you add meaning to the data, so you have to assign time, quantity on other units that are required to make the data meaningful. For example, rupees 100 and 100 kg, they are not two equal things. Their numerical value is same 100, but 100 rupees is not equal to 100 kg. So 100 rupee is a different piece of information, 100 kg is a different piece of information. Then data can be structured, tabular data, graph, tree, whereas information is language, ideas, thoughts based on given data. So actually, data may be in any form. It may be structured form, it may be tabular form, it may be in graph based form, it may be a tree based form. So these few pictures I will have to show you on some other class. Whereas information is the language. For example, if you say that total number of students attended today's class is say 22. So on that ground, actually it becomes a language or sentence. Okay, so it becomes language or ideas or thoughts based on given data. You see, number of students attended today's class is 22. Today means they attended class on 20 September. So here you get two piece of information combined with a single piece of information. You see the two piece of information is today's date 20 September 2021 and total number of students 22. 22 is another piece of data. 20 September 2021 is another piece of data. Okay, together combined with to form one single piece of information. So summarizing the table, so we talk about different criteria, say parameters, say meaning. So far as meaning is concerned, say let us differentiate data and information. From meaning point of view, data is based on records and observation and um, which are stored on computers or remembered by a person. Data does not have any specific purpose. Okay, information is considered more reliable than data. It helps the researcher to conduct a proper analysis. It carries meaning that has been assigned by interpreting data. Here, like little typographical mistake, this particular word is no longer required, so I'll omit it and I will give you the corrected copy. Don't. So characteristic is concerned that data the property of an organization and is not available for sale to the public. Okay, so when some organization maintains some data, say internal data, so it will be the property of the organization, but information is available for sale to the public. So when somebody plans to make it information, so they can be made public. First, because suppose the total number of say the temperature available recorded in an organization, say additive every 1 hour working days suppose is available as a data, that will be property of data, because if until and unless somebody do not assign the context, say this is the time, so this is the place organization, this is the latitude longitude of the place where the temperature is recorded, then longer become information. But once somebody decides to sell it to public or make it public, say we want to release the last 10 years temperature, everyday temperature recorded every 1 hour, that will become information and public property. Then contains so unprocessed raw factors, raw facts, and information processed in a meaningful way. Dependency. Data never depends on information. Data depends upon the sources for collecting data. Data is never designed to be specific need of the user. Okay, so whenever somebody records the suppose daily temperature for last 10 years of some downtown university, at that time there is not a specific purpose is associated with that data. So the purpose may be anything. So the main only purpose was if somebody finds this data useful, then it will be of some benefit. So let us record the temperature. Let us go on recording the daily temperature after every 1 hour. So it depends on the sources of the information. Obviously, if there is no measure for, I mean, there is no equipment for recording the hourly temperature, then we'll not be able to record the temperature. But information depends upon data. Information to the requirements and expectations, because it is irrelevant. Because all the irrelevant facts and figures are removed during the transformation process. Okay, so it may happen that there may be unnecessary information that has been recorded while recording the data, but while it will be converted to information, all those unnecessary information will be truncated so that only meaningful data that is available as information. Then So far as description is concerned, qualitative data may be qualitative or quantitative variables which helps to develop ideas or conclusions. Qualitative, that means a good, bad, low, high. Data may be this type of information, or quantitative variable, that means numerical variable, say value, characters, or anything. Say data may be, say address contains no numerical value, it contains some characters and some numerical characters, say pin code, etc., which is all numerical data. So whereas suppose somebody stores age, marks, counts, then that will be numerical. So data may be qualitative or quantitative, and information is a group of data which carries news and meaning. So far as etymology is concerned, data comes from a Latin word, that is origin, the datum. So datum is actually a singular, so plural of data means data. So data means to keep something over time. Data has become a plural of data. Okay, because a single piece of information, a raw piece of information, never come alone. So actually, it's a multiple piece of some data. That is why the word data itself has become the popular word. On the other hand, information has old French and Middle English origin. It referred to act of informing. It is mostly used for education or other known communication. So some examples, say ticket sales on a band on tour. Suppose any popular band you imagine, say Eagles, say the Guns N' Roses, or any other band which you might like. So total number of ticket sales. So that will be a typical data. Say suppose 1 million, 1 billion, 4 billion. That is the number of tickets. Then sales report of a region and venue. Sales report by region and venue. So altogether, suppose numeric alone say 4,000 or 4.5 billion is actually a raw data. But if it is associated with region and venue, suppose the band is on world tour and it's have multiple venues and a different region, so different figures. So altogether, the uh, total summary of all regions, all venues, and total number of sales against each venue will become an information. So it gives information which venue is profitable for that business. Why this particular information was important? Because if we compare all the venues for that particular band during the entire world to say 20, 20, 25 venues, then from the entire summary, looking at the summary, you will know that this particular venue is profitable for that particular band or that particular genre of music. Then feature. So far as feature is concerned, data is single unit and is raw. It does not have any meaning. Information is the product and group of data which jointly carry a logical meaning. So whereas format is concerned, data is in the form of numbers, letters, or a set of characters, ideas, and information is in ideas and references. Interrelation. So far as data is information that is collected. So data is information that is collected. So that means although it is information that is collected, it will not be called information because no meaning. But after that particular information that is processed, it becomes an information. So after processing, it becomes information. Before processing, it becomes data. The knowledge level, data is the low level knowledge because no meaning is associated. And in the second level of knowledge, information is the second level of knowledge because information is second level of knowledge because it is already processed once. Measuring unit, the data is measured in pitch and byte, and information is measured in meaningful units like time, quantity, etc. Then represented in data can be structured, tabular. Then language, information can be language, ideas, significant. Data alone has no significance. Information is significant by itself. Support for decision making, and here lies the bigger difference. So data cannot be used for decision making because raw fact without any context, meaning, and significance is not useful at all for decision making. Suddenly, suppose some management of a top organization decides to change their policies. So suppose they are given the data, say any raw fact, any raw information, so that will not be contact. But if they are given with meaning, then that can be used for decision making. Say total number of sales figures over last 10 years. Mere the sales figures, mere the numerical values of the sales figures will not be able to help them in decision making. But with the context, proper context, if they see their sales figure, if they find it declining, then they may take some decision making. If they find it increasing, then they might find further decision making. Then, as far as usefulness is concerned, data is collected by researcher, may or may not be useful. Information is useful and valuable as it is readily available to the researcher for use. Okay, so data may not be useful, data needs to be processed properly, then only. So this was actually the basic difference between data and information. Having known this, we actually now we come to different model called DIKW model. As the name signifies, data, information, wisdom model. So why do we need that? So DIKW model is used for discussion of data, information, knowledge, and wisdom, and their interrelationships. We know these few different terms. Okay, so data and information we have studied a bit, and we know that data is unprocessed from when convert is processed becomes information. So there is a relation between data and information. But we also have learned some terms, knowledge and wisdom. So now let us see whether all these few terms are related or not. So DIKW pyramid represents structural or functional relationship between data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. It is an essential part of knowledge management under service transition model. It is the graphical representation of how knowledge can be organized within the organization. So we know that when we collect raw data, it comes in a jumbled form. So DIKW model describes how data can be processed and transformed into information, knowledge, and wisdom. So the IKW model of transforming data into wisdom can be viewed from two different angles, contextual and understanding. So by this time it should be clear that actually data after processing converts to information. Information after some processing, again another level of processing becomes knowledge. Knowledge after another level of processing becomes wisdom. Okay, so ultimately data becomes wisdom after certain processing. Let us see how. So there are two levels of understanding. One is contextual, one is understanding. So as per the contextual concept, one moves from a phase of gathering data first, that is data, and connection of data part, that is information, formation of whole meaningful content, that is knowledge, and conceptualize and joining this whole meaningful content, that is wisdom. Okay, so from understanding perspective, the IKW pyramid can also be seen as a process starting with researching and observing, doing, interacting, and reflecting. So the DIKW hierarchy can also be represented in terms of time. The data, information, and knowledge levels can be seen as past, while the final step wisdom represents the future. Okay, so let us see the pyramid. So this pyramidal representation is actually nicely organized. So it is as the name suggests, it's a pyramid. Why? Because at lower portion we have the raw unprocessed data. Okay, so you see there are two level contextual. From contextual point of view, you see we have gathering of parts. So parts, initially we have parts, so gathering of parts is data, then connecting these parts, so different parts of data. So today's date, today's attendance, and we combine the attendance of today's age is 22 on 20 September 2021. So combining these two information, because alone 20 September 2021 is the meaningless part, 22 is another meaningless part, but total number of students attending class on 20 September is 22. That is another meaningful information which has possible only after connection of the individual components. Okay, so when we have gathering of parts, it becomes information. So from contextual point of view, initially we started with gathering of parts, that is data. We then go on combining connection of parts. You see the pyramid reduces in size, the levels reduces in size. This is because data may be the raw collection of data may contain several junk information, where all information, all parts of piece of data may not be useful for us. So we will discard some portion of that data, and then we keep only the meaningful piece of information. That is why the size is reduced. As you can see, compared to data, information may be smaller but still meaningful. Now, so far as the connection of different parts, we get different information. Combining these different pieces of information and neglecting the unnecessary pieces of information, we will grab some knowledge. That is why you see, in your education life you have learned several information. Okay, you were given several pieces of data, out of which several information you could understand, some you discarded. And then apart from several information that you got in all the classes you attended, from class nursery to your master's degree or whatever, he remembered only some piece of information that is in your knowledge. So when somebody says what is your knowledge so far, then you will be able to give you only some piece of information and not the entire information that you have grabbed in your entire educational life, right? So that is why we uh, grab information and convert it to knowledge. So after having some huge amount of information, some of them will become our knowledge. So till now, you see, formation of a whole is knowledge, and till now the entire piece of whatever has happened so far is actually past, because data to knowledge is actually based on whatever things had already happened. Okay, so nothing that has not been happening. Now, based on this formation of whole knowledge, we can plan joining of the wholes. Okay, so this whole piece of information now will be converted to our wisdom that will happen, that is likely to happen in future. For example, suppose you have fire, you have your finger, and then putting on the fire on your finger burns, then that is a knowledge. Okay, so that part is based on your past experience. That means after putting your finger burned, and then you know that fire burns our finger, human body. So that is a knowledge that you have grabbed from your experience. That means from the things that have happened in the past. But now next time whenever you see some fire, your instinct automatically instructs that do not put your finger inside the fire, else it will burn. So that is wisdom. So from that knowledge, actually, see, your wisdom will also tell you that not only your finger, because your knowledge so far has only explained that if you put your finger, then only your finger will burn on the fire. But it did not tell you what about if you put your head or nose into the fire. But once you grab sufficient knowledge, then your wisdom, you will develop some wisdom that not only my finger, because uh, my nose or ear or head, as they are also part of the human body and they are also constituted of the same components as like my finger. So if we put our nose or ear into fire, then all my nose or ear will also burn out of fire. So that is the wisdom developed. So you see, from several pieces of data, some of them, not all, become information. From several pieces of information, some but not all will become knowledge. From several knowledge you grab in your entire life, some but not all will become wisdom. So wisdom is the ultimate. That is called in our local Hindi or Sanskrit or Assamese or Bengali, we call Gyan. Okay, so from raw data we get wisdom or gyan. So from understanding point of view, you see, from the right side of the pyramid, you see data is absorbing and researching. Okay, so if you research, you search whatever you go on noting down whatever you see, whatever you get, then this is called collection of data. Then after researching and absorbing, if you started doing with the what this data could do, is actually called information. Then interacting with the information is called knowledge. And then reflecting whatever you have done so far, that do not put the nose or head or finger into the fire, it is likely to burn. That is called reflecting. That means your knowledge is now being reflected as your wisdom. So I could be, I actually this class also I had been able to teach you. I have been able to deliver some information to you because I have that much of knowledge so far on this particular course. So now I am actually what? Actually, I am not a very wise person, but I would say that with the little knowledge I have, I am sharing some wisdom with you on this particular paper or in this particular topic. Okay, now data, information, knowledge. So in our next class, we would like to discuss the further details about this particular model, DIKW model. We will also have some other interesting information about DIKW. Okay. Before leaving, I would like to take the attendance. Students, am I louder enough to have the roll call?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so respond please. Roll number 01.
Yes, sir.
Masura
Present, sir.
Begum.
Present, sir.
Yeah. Roll number 02. Maheshwar Singh. Roll number 03. Papia Seal. Papia.
Present, sir.
Monirul. Roll number 4. Roll number 5. Dr. Amira Sultana.
Present, sir.
Roll number 6. Narzina.
Present, sir.
Roll number 7. Dr. Bhumita Nath. Roll number 8.
Present, sir.
Noor Nahar Begum.
Present, sir.
Yeah. Roll number 9.
Roll number 4.
Sir.
Roll number 9. The battle being I cannot pronounce. Don't mind.
Present, sir.
Okay. So can you help me in pronouncing your name exactly, if you don't mind?
Sir, it's Batlam Biam Mauglai.
Okay. Batlembiang Maui. Okay.
Yes.
So Dr. Nurun Nahar 11.
Present, sir.
11 present. Okay. 12. Priti Rekha.
Sir, present. Sir, Dr. Nurun Nahar present.
Yeah, marked. So Priti Rekha. Roll number 13. Ajay Sharma, Dr. Ajay Sharma. Then roll number 14. Dr. Hasina Sultana. Roll number 18. Vishnurat Datta.
Yes, sir.
Roll number 19. Nikita Gogoi.
Present, sir.
Roll number 20. Ninakshi Nath.
Present, sir.
Roll number 21. Amit Mithi.
Yes, sir.
Roll
Sir,
number 22. Ankham Lakshmi Devi.
sir, roll number 4 is present, sir.
Monirul.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's all so far. And before leaving, just let me ask you, so are you all comfortable with the way I have started? Please be frank, because I need
Yes,
to know.
sir.
Okay, so we will go like this. And any doubt, by the way, are you sure all of you have joined the Google Classroom for this subject? If not, then I am passing the link once again. All please join the Google Classroom, because certain assignments and other things I will post through the Google Classroom. Okay.
Okay, sir.
That's all for today. See you on Thursday. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Have a good day.